Hello, Felcher. I thought I'd do a wee video because I feel like there's an issue that I think really needs to be addressed. And before I start this, I don't no means wish to offend people because this is about labels and terms. And I feel that there's no problem what you refer yourself as, like, in a magical sense, if you're a magical practitioner. But this has been brought up and discussed quite recently by other people, which resonate with me, especially with Matthew Venus at Spiritus Arcanum. Did a post saying, you know, don't assume that every magical practitioner is a witch. Like, you can't just branch things all into one thing. Because there's people out there that don't really resonate with that word or term, like myself. I certainly, I don't particularly like labels as such, but there are certain like labels and terms that like I certainly don't resonate with or refer myself as, and that is one that is witch. I know that it's been reclaimed over like a space of like 60, 70 years through the neo-pagan Wiccan movement, which is great. Like, I think I really don't mind like whatever you throw yourself up. It's what you feel comfortable in your practice and what you feel yourself in. Like, but like people like me, I'm always referred to as a witch, and I don't mind it. Like, you know, I don't even mind being called a warlock, you know, which is perfectly a good term. It's not a negative term. It's just another term in Scotland, north of Scotland, for a witch, a male witch, or it could be a female witch. It's just a dialect, basically, another language for a witch. For me, like, I don't even like refer myself as a cunning man or a wise man, because I feel like that is something that in the past, that's what your community would call you, and they wouldn't call themselves that unless they got that reputation, and then they start to acknowledge that. I just simply, if someone asks me, well, I'm an animist first and a folk magic practitioner, specifically in Scottish folk magic, or Northern folk magic, and also the blends that I have in there, like in my own personal practice as well, but specifically Scottish, and like even more specifically in the Gaeltacht regions, you know, the Gaelic culture. And it's like, I feel like you wouldn't, there's many religions and there's many like spiritual beliefs out there that when you look at it under the lens of folk magic, like a lot of religions practice folk magic, like Santeria, voodoo, and such, and there's many more, Native Americanism, you know, they all, and God, even Christianity, Catholicism, you know, unless, you know, I know they don't want to admit it, but they practice forms of folk magic, and I think, like, they would not be okay with them being referred to as a witch. And that is the same for me. Like, I don't have any religion. I'm not religious. I'm an animist. I certainly don't cherry pick from religions. I don't culture appropriate. Mine lands in sort of like, again, like sort of Gaelic culture and Scotland in general, Scottish culture, and Irish as well, because I'm, you know, my roots on my mum's side, and other blends. So, yeah, I'm more of an animist, spiritual, than I am religious. But yeah, like, but one thing is, like, I feel like even, like, witchcraft has, like, a dogma to it. It has, like, a set of rule systems and, like, tools and you know, methods which are quite universal within that tradition or coven. And I've never, like, I've done that in the past. And it, like, it's just not for me, and just simple folk magic has just always been something, and animism is something that's just kind of resonates more to me than anything else. Something that's like practical, that fits in my everyday life and my own like sort of morals and codes of conduct. But yeah, like, again, like I said, I don't mean to offend anyone, and like I have a lot of friends that are like witches and warlocks and pagans and whatever that practices forms of folk magic. And you can say like folk magic is in witchcraft, but you can't say folk magic is witchcraft, if you know what I mean. Like, folk magic sort of doesn't really have an agenda. It sort of flows wherever it goes. It goes, it's in the name, folk magic. It goes with the folk, so, and your community. So, whatever your community and your folk, yourself as well, resonates with religiously or whatever, you know, that will tie in with your folk magic. However, I'm not religious. I'm just an animist. I just believe in spirit and everything, and have that relationship with spirit, with plants and spirits of the home, and then spirits, all that, you know, of dead people, my ancestors, and deity. Like, although like not so deity, like I obviously work with some patron saints of mine, some that are from my family, some that I've like adopted, or they've adopted me, shall I say. But again, it's not, I don't go to church, I don't go to mass, I you know, I don't do any of them. Like, I feel like I don't need a priest or a holy place to like be connected with divinity, to spirits or spirit. But yeah, so like I just wanted to kind of discuss that, and hopefully like sort of, because like the word folk magic is relatively like a new term to what that practice is. So I think there should be a distinction here, and we should start focusing on that distinction. Because I know in the past, like, you know, it's all bunched into one, and I think people still have like the habit of doing that assuming magical practitioners are witches. But yeah, I hope this is like brings some kind of like context and information like to people like myself and others out there in my community that you know, don't refer to that as witch. Like, certainly like my gran was witchy, but if you called her a witch, you would get a good clown. Like, that was not even to her, and even to my mom, she doesn't like it. Like, it's a negative term, and it goes back to the past, you know, early modern period, and you know, even through the Victorian times. But yeah, I'll shut up now. I've had my little sort of rant. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy it and sort of understand where I'm coming from. Blessings to you all. Slan Shiva.